Hello everyone, I welcome you all to a new episode of Fruits of Grisaia. Now let's get right into it, shall we? Well, if you look at it that way, you're right. But the story isn't over yet. No, Yuji, don't traumatize Makina even more. With the equipment as wrapped up, the man had returned to his new assignment at the branch office in Shizuoka. Someone called out to him as he was dealing with the transfer paperwork. So, you were the newbie who sang Daimakarov at the banquet in Gifu? The man's breath caught in his throat. He'd figured out by now that the main job of his superiors was to flaunt their authority by picking at the smallest mistakes, and then rubbing his nose in them. And the manager speaking to him was infamous for his zealous leadership for his underlings. Frankly, the man was about ready to piss his pants. He swallowed and chewed his lip, bitter thoughts rang through his head. What's he going to blame on me? How long will I have to grovel? But the manager's words took him by surprise. I loved that show when I was a kid. The man blinked, dumbfounded by this unexpected development. You from Hiroshima, kid? According to the manager, Daima Karov reruns were played relentlessly every weekday afternoon on the local station. Practically every child in Hiroshima grew up watching the show. But the man wasn't a Hiroshima native. In the area he lived in as a child, the Children's Encore Theatre program would broadcast old episodes of the show every summer. He just happened to see a few. Even so, the manager must have been really pleased to find a fellow Daima Karov fan, as he began to pull a few strings to a man's benefit. One night after work, the man returned to his bed in the company dorm to find a white plastic bag had been tucked underneath the sheets on his made bed. He didn't remember putting it there himself, and when he asked around, nobody else had any idea where it had come from. The bag contained a huge jelly roll and a cup of instant ramen. As a new employee, the man had to eat dinner at a set time of 5 p.m. By 10 p.m., the lights out time at the dorm, all the trainees would be starving. This supplemental meal was therefore a very considerate present. The man had an idea who was responsible. Most likely his Daimakarov body at the top was the only one who could have pulled it off. On top of the early dinner time, learning the ropes as a trainee is particularly tiring. His Daimakarov body had probably figured he'd have a hard time getting his young body to fall asleep on an empty stomach. The man actually didn't have a particularly big appetite, and he wasn't the type to be troubled by regular meals. But then again, as a new employee, he didn't have much money he could spend freely on snacks and such. A little sugar was extremely welcome. If I get caught, they'll get punished too. So the man split the smuggled food with the other trainees in his room, and they all devoured their shares greedily. As the presence from his Daimakarov body, at the time they were known as the Daimakarov supply drop, continued, the talentless, quiet, and hobbleless triple threat contender for their social crown suddenly found himself getting along with the group in the dorm, all thanks to the Daimakarov connection. And 3 months later, when the man's training period came to an end, it was once again his Daimakarov body whose recommendation got him assigned to the Chiba branch office he had hoped for. In other words, when it comes to hobbies and interests, anything is fine. Finding friends who can talk about some common interest with is a valuable thing. Sometimes something that small can be triggered for gaining a huge leg up in life. That's the moral of the story. Ooh, I don't really get it, but Daimakarov sounds like the macaron. I'm hungry. I thought this was a pretty meaningful story. I guess it didn't get quite across. Oh, come on, Pariuchi. Basically you're saying I should try stuff out and expand my interests instead of playing dolls and wandering around by myself all the time? Well, more or less. When you're young, you should mess around with all sorts of things. Just try to find something that grabs you, even if it's stupid crap. How about you, Ani-chan? Anything got a hold on you right now? After all, that space sound, that's a pretty sharp question. I glanced down towards the pile of borrowed books I'm holding in my hands. I suppose right now I don't have anything other than reading that qualifies. I want a jelly roll. You aren't really listening to a word I say, are you? Well, not to say that you need to. But the word jelly roll in the story just now got me Johnson. Something fierce. Oh, and the macaroon man too. Go get Amane to make something. An excellent suggestion, Oni-chan. Come to Amane-san's room later, okay? Let's have snacks together. Yeah, if I'm in the mood. Okay then, see ya. Ryuji, my man just wanted to tell his story and he got blown off. I see. I learned my own lesson from this conversation. If there is a mention of food in the middle of a story, Makina won't remember another word. I'll have to be more careful next time. During my middle school days in America, I got a number of strange nicknames from my classmates, mainly because none of them could be bothered to remember a Japanese name. On the predictable side, there was Jap and Shorty. My family name, Kazami, got abbreviated to KZ as well. However, among my numerous nicknames, the only one that stuck through basic training was Gar, short for garbage eater. It's not that I had a reputation for dumpster diving. It was a reference to my tolerance for shitty food. As I earned it, the story is very simple. The KP made a slop unfit for pigs, and I ate it without grimacing. Freeze-dried scrambled eggs, pork and beans made from scraps of ham, bread with peanut butter, and ridiculously stringy mystery meat were the staples. Okay, what's wrong with bread with peanut butter? Every one of them had a weird chemical aftertaste, and they were all disgusting. Rumor had it that the secret sauce was gasoline. As for the chocolate cake we got for dessert, it was more commonly and accurately described as a dessert. That cake was legendary for being inedible. No matter how starved you were, it would end up stuck in your throat as a dry lump, but I ate it, and all the rest, without complaining. Probably because I was living rough from a young age, I've never been what you'd call a picky eater. But it's simply as long as my belly was full and my body was getting what it needed, the taste wasn't a concern. So even those 3 torturous meals a day didn't inspire any serious complaints from me, but the people around me must have thought I was some sort of freak. And after a while, my nickname became Garbage Eater, then eventually just Gar. Hey Gar, just how shit a cook was your mom? I just said response to this one. My mom didn't cook much, she was too busy screwing your dad's brains out. As far as my as far as my jokes go, I thought it was kind of witty, but the line didn't get that many laughs. I guess my delivery was a bit too stony. Well then, what should I do for dinner? I don't particularly feel a desire to eat, but if you don't take meals at 3 regular times a day, it throws off your body's clock and leaves you more susceptible to fatigue. To tell the truth, I view meals as nothing more than an element of maintaining my physical condition. As long as I'm getting sufficient nourishment, I'm not that caught up when or what I eat. When I spend any effort considering things like that, all I end up thinking about is how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to make something, and eventually the act of eating itself starts to feel like a nuisance. My normal pattern is just to throw something together from my supply of canned and dried food. Yuji-kun, you around? Huh? You're here after all? Well, this is my room. Amane barges in like she owns the place. Longer even bothering to knock, but I'm already getting used to it, I guess. Probably because I've experienced a lot of emergency summons, it didn't get to me that much in the first place. I told you to come to my room at 7 for dinner, you know? Why didn't you show up? You kept Makin and me waiting in front of the food. As she speaks, I notice that Amane is holding a plate piled with crab legs in her hands. Didn't I say you should come help us eat the crabs I get from home? I do recall such an event. I also recall responding, if I'm in the mood. Not that I'd definitely be there. Yes, but I said that you and Makina should go ahead and eat if I didn't show up on time. What? Do you hate crab or something? Not really. I know, it's too much of a pain to peel off the shell, right? Makina says the same thing, not that she won't gobble them down if I do it for her. Of course, after I cracked it all open for her, she started telling about her new invention, the crab croissant, and wrapping it in pieces of bread. The girl just doesn't understand the value of things. After all that, she finishes off by telling me fish paste's yummier. So rude. Probably just means that Makina places more importance on how easy it is to eat. Honestly, I think I'd go for crab paste over crab myself. What the heck? You children disappoint me. There's lots of boys and girls in this world who can't eat even if they wanted to, you know? That's certainly true. If you understand, then stop complaining and eat up. I'll feel it for you. Look, I wasn't really complaining, and I can take care of the shell on my own. In the first place, just what were you going to eat if I didn't show up? I cooked some rice. How long ago? It's all stiff. Ah, hey, hands off! Amane's wandered off into my kitchen and is examining things as she pleases. After confirming the contents of my basket cooker, she opens the door to my refrigerator and starts taking stocks of my supply. Half empty canned food, fish sticks and mayonnaise, lettuce and spinach. What's this thing? Canned pickled radish? Where the heck did you even buy this? More importantly, how long has it been opened? I opened it at lunch. Get off my back. Why is it that this feels strangely embarrassing? It's not like I have anything troublesome in the fridge. In the first place, where does she get off calling canned radish this thing? It's well known among canned food connoisseurs as almost decent and pretty much edible. Is this one looking down on the brave men and women who have gained courage from canned food throughout the years? As he silently burned with righteous indignation. Amane brazenly starts saying tap water into my rice cooker. Ah, hey, what do you think you're doing? Huh? The rice is all hard, so I'm giving it some moisture. I don't care if it's hard. Probably because I'm used to eating canned stuff that comes out alright and stiff as wax candle. I'm pretty tolerant of tough food. Eggs. I only got 2. What if I use them both? I don't care, but why are you planning? I'm going to make you crab fried rice. Just sit there and be patient. Well, I suppose pretty much anyone can handle fried rice, especially for a woman. The somewhat prejudiced assumption is that you'll have a basic skill like that. Fact is, out of all the women I've met so far, the only one who couldn't make edible fried rice was my master. Still, I can't quite hide a certain anxiety. Not that Amane is paying any attention. Owing to herself as she cracks open the eggs. After shaking salt and pepper onto the eggs, she mixes it in the lightly rinsed rice, then adds bits of crab meat, only about half of what she brought, and finally chopped radish. She uses a frying pan coated with mayonnaise rather than oil, adds the lettuce and spinach she plundered from my fridge, and throws in the rice mixture according to her own timing. Sticking the back of her ladle into the mix, she vigorously clatters it around the frying pan, messily stir-frying the food. When Amane decides it's done, she uses the bowl as a mold to form the fried rice into a perfect hemisphere, then tosses it onto the plate. This wouldn't look out of place in a Chinese restaurant. And the finishing touch? Dressing the leftover crab meat with mustard and mayo, she drops it with a tot on top of the heap of fried rice on the plate. Okay, sorry to keep you waiting. So she says, but it hasn't even been 10 minutes since Amane started to cook. The imposing pile of steaming fried rice on my plate looks pretty damn impressive for something cobbled together out of leftovers and in such a short time. By the way, don't you have a bigger table or something? You don't seem to have many plates either. Should I bring a few next time? Not necessary, I've got what I need. The table is a small coffee table for one that such direct out of some storeroom as a stopgap measure. And the frying pan and table where I have are things I picked out carelessly at local 100 yen and hardware stores, but since I'm living alone, it's all perfectly adequate. No point in getting more dishes when I'm only eating of one, it just means more things to wash. True, I guess you don't seem to be backed up on the dishes at least. Noticing something as she speaks, Amane returns to the kitchen and stares so lost at a plastic bag in the corner. Is this garbage? Can I throw it out? Yeah. I threw my empty oolong tea bottles in the bag, and before I knew it, I had something of a pile, but I was uncertain about timing to throw them out. There was recycling day, so I'll take it out with mine. With well-practiced movements, she peels off the labels, removes the caps, and skillfully cuts off the plastic rings with the tip of the kitchen knife. Finally, she lightly rinses the bottles themselves with tap water. Judging from the smooth motion of her hands, she's repeated this often enough to gain the mastery of an assembly line worker. Clearly, she's something of an eco-friendly woman. Okay, I'm going back to my room. When you're done, make sure to soak the plate in the sink, okay? I'll come wash it later. No, I can take care of the much myself. Sorry for the hassle. Not a problem. I need to show off my talents in this department, and I'll get the idea I'm just a horny big sister or role player. With a quick goodbye, Amane heads out of the room, not waiting for my impression of the craft fried rice. I did that the Buzivaru, like her, would be more likely to hang over my shoulder pestering me for compliments, but... Holy shit, that sounds like my mother. She always pesters me about how the food tastes. And the answer is always delightful. And someone called me. Be right back. Me went phone call. Bloody hell. She just popped in all of a sudden, cooked for me in a flash, and then left just as quickly. It might be the influence of dealing with the Zuko Machina all the time. Let's eat. Unfortunately, I don't have a Chinese spoon in this room, so I'll have to make do with a standard Western variety. I jab my spoon into the mountain of steaming fried rice and quickly throw some into my mouth. Not bad at all. Even someone as disinterested in food as me can tell when something tastes good. That is a ASMR. The salt seasoning feels a bit thin, but this is probably how it should be if you're thinking of the healthy sodium intake. Although it would be insulting to compare this to the crap my master made, it's also different from the stuff you'd get at a high-priced Chinese restaurant. It tastes like a standard fried rice. What's with this flavor? When I was living alone with my mother as a child, I remember eating fried rice that tasted like this. After finishing her day job, my mother would make me dinner before her night shift started. In the last week of the month before her paychecks came in, it would often be a pretty plain meal of fried rice. When all she could put on the table was fried rice with a bit of pink fish paste at it, she would apologize as I ate. I'm sorry, this is all we've got. Unlike the fried rice Amane just made, there was never anything extravagant like crab thrown in. And Amane's cooking skill seems to be better as well. So why is it that they taste similar? Where is this slight melancholy coming from? Well, it doesn't matter as long as it's good. And as a kid, anything I ate tasted good. The part of me hasn't changed too much. It's very gingerish. Oh yes, it's very ginger. Whew. It's very dangerous to jump to conclusions about someone. When you make a judgment without sufficient information, you're going to be at least slightly off. Whether that's an over or underestimation, it clouds your perception and often comes back to bite you in the end. My employer is exactly the sort of organization that lives and dies by gathering accurate intelligence. I heard a lot about its importance from my acid-tongued master as well. Therefore, I make a conscious effort not to label others prematurely. Ooh. 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 Shower. That said, every time this Matsushima Michiru girl enters my field of vision, I find myself dying to stick exactly such a mental label on her. Yo, Michiru. Yuji. I've been standing in front of you for a while now. Why are you acting like you just noticed?
Give me a break here, I was concentrating. You didn't even register, I didn't even see you. It was part of visibility conditions, got it?
I see. Understood. But that utter lack of awareness might cost your life someday. Please make sure to look both ways for cars before you cross the road.
Shut up, stupid!
I offered an appropriate warning given your actions. Why the verbal abuse?
Shut up! Go away, you jerk!
Michiru vigorously throws the empty paper carton she was holding at me. Flying into a fit of rage just because someone tells you something you don't want to hear isn't a good habit.
If you go sour right now, jerk!
Judging that I don't have a foothold in this conversation, I pick up the garbage Michiru hurled at me and temporarily withdraw from the scene. 100% vitamin C drink. Reading out the description printed on the carton, I tilt my hand in amusement. I've seen plenty of 100% juice drinks, fruit juice drinks, but this is a new one. The parent company of this manufacturer is a pharmaceutical corporation. Maybe it's some sort of undiluted vitamin solution used in beauty products, or maybe it's not meant literally and they're just exaggerating to play up the fact that it's packed full of the stuff. Either way, it's a soft drink that emphasizes vitamin C content above all else, which means that it's probably incredibly sour and acidic. It must be torture to drink unless you get a strong tolerance for that sort of thing. So why was she drinking this stuff? When I look on her face, I don't think it was out of fondness for the taste, some kind of self-flagellation, or maybe... Why are you here? Interrupting my thoughts, Sakaki stares at me suspiciously. Yo, if it isn't human. For the moment, can I confirm if that was intended to be some sort of nickname for me? Calm down, if you lose your sense of humor, you won't be able to live a fun life. I'm not particularly looking to live a fun life. I see, in that case, it was a nickname, slip of the tongue. Happy now? You are a truly aggravating human being. Aggravating as I may be, Sakaki nonetheless approaches me. What's that in your hand? This? It's an empty soft drink carton that blonde girl was drinking earlier. And you have it why? Please don't tell me you enjoy collecting that sort of thing. Is collecting this sort of thing as evil as a hobby as that scowl implies? I'm interested, please explain in detail. Why don't you look it up online if you're so curious? For some reason, Sakaki is trembling with anger. Seems I still can't anticipate what will trigger his woman's wrath. To return to the subject, that's the one Matsushima-san is always drinking while making that terrible face. Right, I wanted to ask about that. Why is she drinking something she so plainly hates? Did she lose a bet? Is she being bullied? Was she placed under a malevolent spell? There's really no middle ground in your thinking, is there? Alright, so, correct me. I don't have an answer either. I haven't gotten too involved with the girl. In the first place, she's just a classmate. I don't have any particular interest in her. And yet I'm pretty sure I knew this was Michiru's carton before you asked. Does mocking people like this come naturally to you? Or do you save it specially for me? I'm just trying to explore an apparent logical inconsistency. The wrinkles in Sakaki's forehead grow deeper and her glare sharper. Apparently there are some logical inconsistencies best left unexplored when she's around, specifically those concerning her contrary personality. The girl does eat a lot of sweets and such. Maybe she's just interested in a variety of tastes. Now they mention it, I cannot speak. Seems like she's always carrying those Amane candies around. My, you're a fairly observant one yourself. Does Matsushima-san interest you? Are you interested in knowing whether I'm interested in Michiru? I'm making a mental note not to talk too much around you. Goodbye. With an extremely displeased expression, you make leave the roof. There sure are a lot of troublesome girls in this place. After spending a little time sharing a dorm with them, it's pretty obvious that everyone in this place has a few screws loose, and probably a few skeletons in the closet as well. Amane Sakaki aren't easy to deal with in the first place, and there seems to be more to them than they're letting on. The same is probably true of Maki and Sachi. That said, When it comes to that bottle blonde girl, no matter how many times I try to look below the surface, I keep hitting rock bottom right away. If she's got any hidden depths, they're very well hidden. In other words, I've got a persistent suspicion that she's an idiot. Still, it's too early to label her. I should bide my time and get a better idea of her personality before reaching any conclusions. But seriously now.
Wow.
What, Michiru?
Today's Thursday. I didn't buy the stuff we needed for class. How could this happen? I counted the days everything, so I didn't forget to go shopping the day before.
Calm down. It's Wednesday. Yesterday's Tuesday, and there haven't been any gaps in the space-time continuum since. Well, there is a gap in time right now. What was the joke? I don't fucking know. Join the Discord. Love you all. Bye-bye. Mwah.